Hello, hello. Welcome back to another Wednesday night with Hollywood Affiliate Marketing Services.
Hi.
Tonight we have Paige Alexandria or Paige Rankine. She is an author of a book, a pharmacist, pretty much everything under the sun. But y'all are here tonight to hear her talk about the stock market, and that's pretty hot in the streets right now. So, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Paige. I am the author of Paige's Investing Guide. I'm a student pharmacist, and I'm here to talk to Nick tonight about my book and other things about the stock market.
All right. So, I guess how does it, I guess juggling all of that? You said you're a pharmacist and
Student pharmacist.
student pharmacist, but you work in pharmacy too, don't you?
Yes, I'm an intern.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess are you able to trade while you're at, I guess, hopefully your job's not watching, but are you able to trade at work?
Oh, yes, of course, because trading has different time frames. So I can just keep my trades running and work my job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest benefits of being able to learn the stock market and options trading is because you're able to, still you're able to honestly make more money probably than what you are at your day job. And it doesn't take much except for, as long as you're able to have a phone in your hand, you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, definitely. And also the time frame, like some people trade in daily time frame, 1 week, hourly, like 1 year. So yeah, basically, yeah.
All right. So I guess what are your current businesses that you would say that you're into?
Well, I'm very versatile. I have several businesses. So, working on my eyelash extension business, have my book. I trade stocks. I trade crypto. I gave lessons. Just and some people some people also asked me to make like a Discord, but with my time. Well, it's kind of like a priority right now, and I'll think about the Discord after I finish school.
That's actually a lot to try to start a Discord while you're doing all that because
Yeah,
I don't think people understand that's like a whole nother full-time job.
exactly. And like, I want to give you like my 100% like attention. And I would feel so guilty if I'm not able to like answer certain questions because I'm doing something else. And like, one thing though, the market is not always your friend, so I don't 100% rely on it. That's why I have to do like other things. So like right now, school is like my first priority. So just in case one thing falls, got the other.
Sorry, I had to take a swig out of my Hydromate bottle. I'm actually ahead of time right now, so that's good. All right, so for the people who are not educated on, and I might ask this question again later on because I get a lot of people asking me what is options trading. So I guess can you give a rundown of what is options trading?
Yes. So options trading is different from like regular buying and owning a stock. So with options, it's like you have a certain time frame that you have to sell your stock. Well, in options we call it contracts. So stocks, like when you buy them, you hold those for a lifetime. Some give you dividends and those are yours to keep forever. But with options, you're buying 100 shares, and within the 100 shares that's equal to one contract, you're able to see faster profits in a shorter period of time. And also you can like invest a little bit of money if it's like if a stock is like $800, like you don't have $800 to buy that stock, you can buy a contract, which some contracts will be like $10 or like $1, and like you're able to get the same benefits or more than compared to owning a regular stock. But also the risk and reward ratio is really high. So it's really risky, but I love it. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I would have to say, I mean, I think this is a great and timely interview because there's so much that has happened in the past year as far as especially with the pandemic and millennials and many people, including yourself, have made a ton of money on the stock market. And I like to let everybody know that, see if I'm getting my finger right, she's the one that actually taught me um, options trading
Right.
when I first started learning about the stock market, period. So during the pandemic, I got furloughed a few times, and I just utilized that time to learn how to do options during that time. And the person that introduced me to stocks when I first started learning about that, I was able to introduce them to learn options trading, and it completely changed, probably everybody who's actually taking it serious' life.
Yeah.
And it's not something that you just kind of learn. There is no gamble. Like, I mean, obviously it's a gamble, but you can't approach it like it's gambling or like the normal stock market. It is an educated risk that you're taking, and there's a lot of different factors that are included. So I have to say thank you to Paige because she taught me, and then from there we both kind of learned together and kind of bounced ideas back and forth. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So with that, like I said, I get a lot of questions. I know she gets a ton of questions, and she was getting a ton of questions when I was asking questions. So she decided to write a book. Can you tell us some more about that?
Right. So in my book, I wrote it as if I was teaching myself. So with me, I need to know when this happens, when that happens, like what happens simultaneously. So I basically wrote. I'm also an MBA student, so some stuff that I did learn in business school, I wrote it in the book. Um, which we did have a class on the stock market, and that's where I kind of started learning.
Mhm.
So in my book, I talked about business. I gave like a live step-by-step guide for beginners on how I trade options. So there's no correct way to trade. It's just my book about how I trade it, and I gave like real life examples and like what to do when this happens and like what I don't do, what I do, where you can like look up other resources. So
Okay.
you know.
So I guess what made you interested in writing a book about it?
Because when I first started teaching it, like a lot of people kept asking me, but it was taking too long. So I was just like, man, I have so much stuff to do. I'm just gonna write a book. And also in school, like they make us do like a lot of like PDFs. So like I kind of got inspired, and then I just wrote it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess have you found the book to be beneficial to others in their journey since so you don't have to kind of go back and forth? I guess kind of like you did me. And to be honest with you, with the book, I know that there's definitely people I refer to the book and things like that. Um, I would say that it's much easier to understand than getting screenshots of stuff that you don't understand. And I tell anybody out there, please don't assume that you get it. Oh, I get it. I don't need to learn anymore. Oh, I saw this YouTube video or I saw this, I read a couple of pages in a book. No, you need to actually understand. Like, even if you get it, there's so many other factors all the time. So I guess have you found the book to kind of limit the questions, or do you feel like you get more even still with writing it?
Um, Definitely the questions did limit. I just look at a few questions like people would ask me like my opinion on this or that. Yeah, definitely. I do recommend people to like watch YouTube videos of people's experiences so you can know what you're getting yourself into because it's really, it's risky, but it's worth it.
Yes, watch YouTube videos, including my channel. Everybody that's
Yeah,
watching, subscribe.
yeah,
It's not
yeah,
about the stock market, but subscribe anyway. Uh,
exactly.
but with that, what actually made you get interested in even doing the stock market? Like, what got you interested in the stock market?
Well, when I was like growing up, so like probably around like age 20, 18, like around that time, I knew like in long term, like I always wanted to be in the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything. I just thought, you buy little 1, 2 shares and whatever. So when there was a friend of mine, he used to talk about stocks all the time. I was like, okay, whatever. And he put me in a group chat and like, I was just like, okay. And then when I started studying business, when I started doing my MBA, that's when I was really interested in like business. And then that person was like, oh, the market crashed. And I was like, all right, you know what? Let me just do it. So I just did it. And yeah.
So did you start around the pandemic also, or did you start before that?
Oh, okay. So I started learning about it before the pandemic, and then I started like right when we started lockdown.
Ah, yeah. I think I bought my first stock because I didn't even know where you could buy it,
Yeah.
but I always heard and wanted to know, and I think I bought my first stock in maybe March during the pandemic, and I would say like legit, even the long term stuff. Actually, that's going to lead to another question. But even the long term stuff that I've initially invested in during the crash has, I don't even pay attention to it, but then I go back and I check, every now and then I'm like, golly, how in the world? I did nothing. I literally did nothing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
gave somebody $5 and they gave me $100 back.
Right. You gotta have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
That's where speculation versus investing comes in.
So I guess what made you choose to go the options route? Because a lot of people don't know about the options route. They just know mainly long-term stock. So I guess what's the benefit of doing options versus the normal stock market? Because there's a big difference.
Yeah, I like both, but the thrill of options is kind of like more fun to me. Like, yeah, it's more like, I mean, I got patience, but sometimes when you want to see that money, yeah.
Yeah. Options are a lot more volatile and it happens a lot faster.
Yeah, definitely.
People do it all the time.
Yeah, and I don't know, crypto is really volatile too. So it's just opening more doors. Like I kind of consider these as like different sources of income too, because you have your long-term stocks to hold, you have your dividends, you have your options, you have crypto. Like that's 4 different like categories to me, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I guess with all of that, and you say you're in pharmacy school, which I'm sure has to take up a great deal of time. How are you? And then you say you have an eyelash company.
I'm working. Yes, it's like that's like my other little side business to do. So I'm like working on that because the pandemic happened. Social distance, so I'm just working. It's coming together. What was the other question?
So, well, with your schooling, you have the eyelash business.
Right.
But people are asking you questions. They want you to start Discord. Oh, yeah. Also, you're a parent. How do you, I guess, balance all of that?
Okay, so I have great time management. Like I use every hour of the day. Like there's some days I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning and I don't go sleep till 11 because I need to use every hour. So, I don't want to say I'm super organized, but I do have a planner. So I write down stuff that are important, so I know when to plan my time. And then I'm great at multitasking, so yeah, just know how to manage my time. And plus, stocks and stuff, it doesn't require you to physically be there. Like it's just
it's a great thing about it.
Right, it's just passive income.
All right, so what's your major again?
I'm studying pharmacy and business.
Okay. I guess, have you taken any classes that would allow you to, I guess, learn more about the stocks by any chance?
Yeah, it's included in my MBA curriculum.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what class is that? And I guess, have you felt like it's helped you?
Yes, corporate finance. So, corporate finance, a little bit of accounting, Some of economics because of, you know, supply and demand. That's all I can think of right now. So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm just trying to help. I guess if there's anybody out there watching, what class it is that they could possibly take, included with your book, to help them better understand the stock market and what they have to look forward to.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess with that, then, how many books have you sold since so many people are interested?
Like 40 copies, I want to say.
Nice. How many? I guess, do you have a vision or a goal for how many you want to sell?
No, I don't have like, okay, I would like to reach 100 by May, but
Okay.
that book is an intangible asset. So I have that for the rest of my life. Like that will always be there to bring me money. So there's no like long-term goal. It's just like just keep giving me the money.
True. If there's anybody in the audience that has any questions, feel free to ask anything that, I mean, we have the stock guru here, so feel free to ask any questions. Or if you've purchased the book, feel free to, let us know, leave a review. That's always beneficial. But I guess outside of you writing the book itself to help others, is there another goal or another reason why you may have written it outside? And obviously the monetary side of it and the longevity of passive income always coming. Is there any other deeper reason, or I guess even with everything that you do, what is your purpose?
Oh yes. So my purpose is I would love to change, people's lives. Like a lot of people, not to say this in like a mean way, like don't have like an open mind. Like they don't know like there's other ways to make money than an earned income, which is your 9 to 5.
Time for money.
Yes. So it's just like the fact that I can change somebody else's life, like you, like so other people can learn. And sorry, I was reading the question.
So we got a question, and it says Facebook user, but I know it's coming in from Jonathan Pegues. Thank you for tuning in, sir. It says, can you speak on what is happening with GameStop and Blockbuster?
So
Reddit.
Yeah, there you go, Reddit. I haven't really 100% looked into it, to be honest, but I think somebody told me there was like some billionaire investors.
Yeah.
And then like Elon Musk had made a tweet, so like whenever he tweets, the market's gonna go crazy.
In the world, or one of them.
Right, but I really honestly I really haven't looked too into it because like sometimes you're gonna get caught in the pump and then it will dump on you. So like, and then it was just confusing to me because like GameStop's market cap and their stock value is like more than Apple, and it's just like
it's more than Microsoft now.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing is, honestly, GameStop there's no value, because I'd say literally like last year, they were about to go bankrupt, and I was like doing options trading on the put side, which I guess we can let you talk about calls and puts, but I did a put on GameStop because they were about to go bankrupt, and now they're worth what, $300 and something dollars,
almost 400, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes why the stock market has why you can make so much money doing options.
Right, and then right. So as you heard Nicholas say, Reddit, like some people will like blow the stock up and just
talking about it.
Right.
Hype it up.
Yeah, the hype. Yes. What was the question?
They hyped it up. I didn't know about Blockbuster though, but
yeah, I haven't seen Blockbuster.
Yeah, I thought Blockbuster was already out of business, but I definitely could be wrong. All right, we've got another question from Renee Crooks, who has bought one of your books. She says, "Do you plan on writing a part 2 of your book?" Great question.
I've been asked, and I'll consider it, like, if I can like change up my strategy and when I like make way more profits, then yes, I'll put it into consideration.
Okay. Got another one. What apps do you use for options trading, and which one is beginner friendly?
TD Ameritrade. So I have multiple apps because I need the news to come like fast to me, because like with stock market, if you wake up at 11 and market opens at 9:30, that's like what, like 2K profits missed right there.
Mm-hmm.
So beginners definitely recommend Robinhood. But for long-term use, probably like Webull, TD Ameritrade for long-term use.
All right. And we got a question. What is a call versus a put?
So in options, okay, this is different terminology now. Options considers of calls and puts. So calls is you think the stock is going up, puts you think the stock is going down.
And how do you make money off of that?
You make money if the stock is going up or it's going down. I mean,
well, you gotta explain, because some people are not gonna understand how in the world can I make money if the stock is going down, because it's a different philosophy than the regular stock market.
Right. Okay, so puts would be like you think the stock is going down. So as the stock is going down, you're making money because you think that stock is going to reach a certain price, and vice versa with a call, if that makes sense in the short term.
Yes. All right. So thank you for those questions, guys. I guess I will go back to your book. So I guess, did you expect to sell so many books, or as many as you have so far?
Honestly, no, I did not expect it. So I'm pretty happy.
Good. How much does your book cost?
It's $45 right now, and it is on Shopify. And the website is pagesinvestingguide.com.
Say it one more time.
Pagesinvestingguide.com.
Great. Okay, so because I was gonna say, a lot of people are gonna be looking for it, and they are, and I guess if you do end up writing a revision to the book, would you put it under the same website, or do you make modifications to the book? Is there an ebook also, or is it a hard copy?
Definitely. I don't know if my second book, I don't know if I would do it as an ebook. Maybe I'll do it as a hard copy, maybe. No, it would be a whole new like book, not like revisions. So it'd be like my new strategy, because when you're trading, like you have to have multiple different like plans. You have to trade with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So it says drop the link in the chat.
Yes, so drop your link. I'll tell everybody that comes on. People are always asking for, hey, do you know somebody that does this? Do you know somebody that does that? And everybody always posts like 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And then you have your people who constantly are posting, and they hit me up and they're like, man, I'm getting so much business out of this group and blah, blah, blah. So, Paige, continue to drop your link, drop it underneath this chat, drop it just, as, I don't know, whenever you randomly think about it, just put your link. But people are requesting your link in the interview now. Has anybody watching, I guess, bought the book?
I don't know how to put it in.
Basically, just go to the comment section, and then
it doesn't allow me to type nothing.
The comment section in Facebook.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Any advice on developing a plan?
Yes. You don't need to keep adding lots of money into your trading account. Like, what if you do something on a trade, you can definitely like make up your losses. So you definitely you definitely want to have a plan, and don't invest with your emotions. Like if you're in your feelings because you did bad on something, like just leave the market alone. And then some people have like multiple broker accounts, because some people like day trade out of one. Some people like hold it for like have their long-term positions. So and also as I said, watch like YouTube videos to see other people's experiences. Like you just have to like just always just stay up to date, like look up like news articles, group posts. Yeah, that's just like like there's no specific like correct way to have a plan. It's so much
different things, because you can have a plan and then somebody from Reddit just makes it boom. So I mean, sometimes people play earnings. I don't know if anybody knows what earnings are, but earnings is like the quarterly meeting that companies have that tells you where they are. But at the end of the day, just because the company did great doesn't necessarily mean the stock's going to go up.
Like Apple today.
Right. We're not going to talk about that. But I think there's the Fed. But anyway.
Right, definitely. And AMD yesterday.
So we do have a lot of people supporting. So we have, I hope I said the name correct, DeAngelique Hardiman.
Yeah, that's my friend right there.
Okay, so she's bought the book. Do you have any feedback on the book, DeAngelique? Go ahead and leave that feedback. Much appreciated. And I would also like to say the book is $45. Some people say, man, that's so much money. It's not. Because if you were going to go and if you were going to go buy one option, whether it's a call or a put, it's probably going to cost you anywhere from, a good one would probably cost you anywhere from, I don't know, 30 to, I mean, it could be $500. But either way,
right,
money that you put in, for instance, let's say you put in $45 on an option.
Right.
You might triple, quadruple, I don't even know how to say 10 times your money. You put in 45 and you get 450 back. But because you actually knew what you were doing, now you're able to make more money. So
right. And I've always said
crazy.
I've always said like anybody who like really read my book like has weight will make back their 45. Like I wanted to show, so there was like I don't know if anybody knows about SPCE. They had some really cheap contracts and like
I do.
Right. So like somebody had invested like $10 the day before, and then today it was like $800, and I'm just like, it's so easy just to make your money back if you know what you're doing correctly.
So today we actually had a conversation. So like I said, we bounce ideas back and forth. I was saying that I wish that I would have bought. As I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I should just get it right now. But then I was just like, nah, because the thing is, timing is everything.
Right.
And SPCE was like $42. It hit, I think, 52 today.
Almost 60.
Oh, almost 60.
Yeah.
And if I would have bought that one option for, I think, maybe like $100,
right, you would have like
I would have made $2,000.
Right.
Easy. And in less than 2 hours. Right, like 2 hours. I think 2 hours later it was up like $15, $20 or something like that. So that would have been an easy $2,000 in a day. But the fear, but then also FOMO and stuff like that, which we'll talk about, got in the way. But yeah, I didn't make that money. But one day you can make a killing. I was just talking about GameStop today. If I'd have put $100 yesterday on GameStop, today it'd have been $3 million. It's crazy. But anyway, we're not gonna talk about that.
Somebody says, what's day trading? Day trading is when you buy and you sell the stock the same day, and like when you swing it, you hold it for like longer than a day, until how many ever days.
Yeah. So day trading is buying and selling in the same day. Does one make bread buying a handful of expensive stock?
Yeah, expensive or cheap.
Right. You probably make more money buying a cheap stock.
Yeah. Who is AMC?
Yeah, or like I was telling you today, Sundial, they're like 60 cents a share right now, and they jumped up 20 cents. If you had bought maybe $60, no, not even $60. If you'd have bought 100 shares, was that? Yeah, it's about $60. If you'd spend $60 on something like that, it goes up 20 cents. You made, a killing.
Right.
If you bought 1,000 of them, it's even more. So if you're talking about regular stock, you're probably gonna make more money as long as it goes up. The difference with options is you can make money when a company goes
Down.
what's it called? Bank Chapter 11 or Chapter 7, you can still make money.
Yeah.
All right. How do politics affect the stock market? That's a great question. Go ahead, Paige.
So, like politics, there's some correlation with the stock market. Sometimes bad news makes the stock go up. Sometimes good news makes the stock go down. We can't control it. The feds who have a meeting, like when the feds had a meeting today, so like I don't know if pre-market was up, but I knew as soon as market opened, like it was like red for a little bit because the feds were gonna have a meeting, and then the market went from like red to green. So it's just like good news or bad news can affect the market. But I don't always pay attention to the news. I just like whatever I think the stock is valued, I just stick to what I think.
I will say this. Whenever I was learning from you and I actually started paying attention to politics last year for the first time, I would say.
Yeah.
Like truly paying attention. I didn't even say I paid attention. I just would watch finally. Yeah. And I'm not gonna say any names, but a certain person would come on TV, and as soon as they came on TV, just
like Mike Powell, is that his name, right?
That's not the guy I was thinking about, but as soon as he
yeah,
straight to the ground. I remember one day this particular person has a Twitter account, and he decided to tweet that you people should be thankful for me because the stock market's at the all-time high. The very next day, it just crashed harder than I think they said it's ever crashed in history. So politics definitely does affect the stock market, and it can literally just be somebody shows up on TV.
right.
And I've seen, in my experience, just crash for 20 minutes while they're talking, and as soon as they're done, it goes right back up.
Yeah, and like even with like the stimulus checks, like I've seen them multiple times. The market was green for like weeks.
Yeah,
and then when they found out we weren't gonna get it at one point, then it was like red, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then vaccine, all that kind of stuff definitely makes a huge difference.
Right.
We got some feedback here. This book is great, straight to the point, and it really helped me set my Robinhood account without any issues.
Thank you.
Yes. We got another one. What are some good companies to buy options in?
Tesla, that's my baby. I had a good day. I don't know what it's doing right now, but
you bought one already though.
Yeah, tech was killing it, like Microsoft, Apple, Facebook. They were killing it from like the middle of last year to like the end, but I think they're kind of like okay, so there's different sectors of the market. You have energy, tech, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like money is flowing into one market, and then when that market is like exhausted, then it'll go into the next one. So I personally feel like tech sector is kind of exhausted right now. So the small caps market is like booming right now. Like I've seen stocks make like $20 runs, $100, $200 runs.
Hold on. Let's just ask real quick. I don't want to cut you off, but how much money have you made maybe in a given day? The most money you've made in like a given day or week?
In a day, like 17K.
How much?
17K.
A little bit louder for the people in the back.
17,000
in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just leave it there. We got a question from Nicholas Corbin. Shout out to him. So, what do you think about AMC doing the same thing as GameStop?
I don't really think AMC is doing the same thing as GameStop. I think AMC is in its V-shaped recovery right now. GameStop just that's really overbought. But it could still keep running. Can't say it's gonna drop. I wouldn't be too worried about AMC. I like AMC how it's moving right now.
What I will say though about GameStop, and don't take my advice or anything, but
yeah, we're not financial advisors.
But like we're talking about options. We're talking about options right now. So calls and puts.
Right.
There's no real value in GameStop. They sell video games that technically are trash because the way the world is going, things are all digital. They sell basically hard items, hardware. So if you can buy a game online that won't, scratch up, kind of like what's that thing called? The red thing at like CVS, Redbox.
Yeah, Redbox.
Yeah, I can't even tell you what it's called. I mean, what's the purpose of Redbox? You can go rent it on or buy it. You can buy the movie and have it forever for like $2.99. There's no point in having the actual physical DVD that's going to get scratched up or whatever the case is. So, if you think about stuff like that, then you know that GameStop has shot up, but is it going to stay up there? So, at some point it's going to come down.
Yeah.
Or with options, you can do a put, which is the market going down, and ride the wave down if you want to and still make money. All right, we got a question from Renee Crook. Said, what industries affect the stock market the most? Tech or medicine or something else?
I'm kind of interpreting that question like what makes it do good, better.
Yeah.
I think I've seen tech have the best
influence?
and positive influence because, like I said, they basically rocked like the middle of 2020 to like the end, and still rocking it. So
I would have to say it's the same. And the thing about tech too, when one tech company booms, usually a lot of people on the same thing will do the same thing.
So there you have the S&P 500, you have NASDAQ, and you have the Dow. So most of tech is in the NASDAQ. So there's times that I've seen like Apple, Facebook, all of them down, and then Netflix shot it up, and then tech will follow them, and like tech follows like SPY. So yeah, some stocks follow each other. So
would you recommend ETFs to invest in?
Yes, for long-term holds because.
Can you explain what an ETF is?
It's an exchange trade fund. It's good for like long-term hold. So.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot. All right. So let's see. Nicole Zinkfence Pearson, shout out to JA. She says, wow, sign me up. I think she's also got a friend that has a Discord actually maybe in Jamaica. And apparently he's, doing well with that. So shout out.
Shout out.
You got some thumbs up here. All right. And we have, wow, 17K is a lot. When you have a high return, do you transfer it to your personal bank account or do you keep the money in stocks? That's a good question.
I keep it in the stock.
Nice. I would probably transfer some of that. Me personally, I'd probably transfer some of it. I guess you posted something though earlier as far as your marketing materials and stuff like that. I guess, do you want to speak on how you don't have to necessarily, since we're on the bank account question, how you don't have to necessarily go back and forth between your bank account and that you can, say you took a loss or something like that, how you can make money without having to take out of your account?
Right. So I like to compound. So compounding in like simple terms is like, for me, I just take the profits from one trade and I'll take it into the next trade. And like, you can always make up your losses. So you never really have to keep withdrawing from your bank account. Like, trust me, you can really make up your losses. Like in one of my most recent posts in that group, like I had like a $28 call for Bank of America, and I must have gotten like $90 back. I can't remember the full number. And then I I took like $70 from the 90 and I went into a Tesla option, and then like the next day I swung it and I think I got back how much did I get back? I think like I forgot. But anyways, I took that profit and then I went to another Tesla contract and then I came back out with like 1,200.
Yeah.
So you never have to keep like adding money.
Something I kind of do. I don't know if I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I guess one of my strategies is kind of to consistently hit maybe a specific number. So I set a goal, and then when I hit the goal, I may take one of the profits and then transfer it out, and then retry to hit that same goal with whatever profit I've gained.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I guess do you have a specific strategy, or do you just try to get? I don't know. Do you want to go to the moon?
I like go with the flow of the market, like, because we control the market. Yes, the news can influence it, but we're the ones who buy and sell.
Mm-hmm.
Swung it means like, as the person asks, what is day trading? Day trade is when you buy and you sell it on the same day. Swinging it is when you're holding it more for one day and longer, if you want to.
So I guess with that, then you may have to explain expiration dates and why options is different than the regular stock market, because there is an end date, which if you keep on holding, you end up losing all your money. You could lose all your money.
Right. So even if the stock passes your contract, your option contract, you can still hold the trade and you can still get profits off of it, but you just have to sell it by that date, or else I think the broker will sell it for you. I've always sold mine like before the expiration date. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's one of my biggest things of learning was I guess cutting the loss and selling, because sometimes it would be kind of like, all right, let me just hold this till the last day to see what happens. But I think that's more of a long-term stock approach, because the thing is, even if if I sold it during, I guess, cut a loss, I could always even reposition myself within that same stock.
Right, yeah, we've done that before.
And I think in the beginning I would hold it all the way till the end, just kind of like, well, maybe it'll come back up. But that's not necessarily a good philosophy. I could just sell it with whatever profit, keep that money, and then reinvest as it drops.
Yeah.
Or even switch from a put.
Right, yeah. That's part of like having a trading plan. And then also to the person who asked me what's a good stock, I like how Ford is moving right now. Sorry, that just came up from my head. Right, yeah. Like I had bought like 4 Ford calls the other day, and then like I was up like $1,500 just from like a $200 investment.
On Ford?
Yeah, it was like a end of the last week of February.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, Ford is moving. Yes, but when you're trading options, like it matters the time frame. Like everybody's trading in a different time frame.
This is true, because you'll see different spikes at different times of the day, depending on which time zone you're in too. Because I have friends that they, I guess in California, for instance, and they're 2 hours behind Texas, and then 3 hours behind Eastern Coast. So when they wake up, there's a boost at this specific time. I always notice around like 1 p.m. here that, or like going into that lunchtime area, things change, and timing is definitely huge. Usually in the morning when you first wake up, there's either some huge spike or a huge sell off.
Right. So like another thing is like, say what is today? January. So let's just say I bought like a Tesla contract that expires next year, January, and let's just say tomorrow I'm like down 1,000. That don't mean I have to sell it. Like my expiration is till next year. Just because I'm down 1,000 today doesn't mean I'll be down 1,000 every day. I could be up 10K in like 2 days. Like It's just, yeah.
Prime example is GameStop.
What did
Because I said prime example is GameStop. If you look at how things trended, a guy could lose, I don't know, he could have put everything that he owned into GameStop yesterday. And as it went down, he could have lost like 200K.
Right.
And then if he would have stayed in and it jumps up $200 today, now he's a millionaire. Or he's got $1 million, you know. So it really, it's a complex thing. And when you're doing options, it's definitely, you know, a lot more, I don't want to say necessarily, well, yeah, risky. It's a lot more risky. But you just kind of do your research and it kind of keeps you on your toes, kind of like, you know, it's different. All right, I'm going to put it like this. If you are playing fantasy football, you're watching each player every single game that they play. If you only care about doing like a spread for the Super Bowl, then it's not as intense that way, because you care about, you know, when the Super Bowl is going to come up. You're not necessarily caring about what this player is going to do every single day and at whatever specific time of the game. So to me, it's kind of similar to that. So I see Nicole asked, I see WhatsApp has a stock platform. Do you use that? I didn't know.
No, I didn't even know that. No,
I did not know that.
Yeah, we gotta look
Cash App does. I use Cash App.
Yeah, I just use the regular brokers. I haven't used WhatsApp. I didn't know that. And then another thing, when you're like investing, trading, whatever, do what you want to do. Do what you believe. Like, don't listen to other people. Cause like today, I was talking to Nicholas, and I was like, I think you should sell Apple.
Yeah.
Because it had a high IV, and he was like, no. But I don't think he listened to me, and it went down. So, you know, just do what you want to do.
Yeah. Because the thing too, and I'll say this from my experience, sometimes when I've gotten information from you, it would have already made it to its point before I could get in.
Right.
So, and you know, like timing is everything, like we said.
Yeah.
So if you say, hey, you know, this is gonna boom or is booming, it may have already boomed already, and then it's gonna like kind of plateau for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So for me, I would not, you know, it'd be kind of like a waste of money because it's already made its move. So you kind of have to be able to think about that too.
Right.
Another question: how does cryptocurrency work, and how do people make money from Bitcoin?
So cryptocurrency is like digital money, and like some of this digital money is like gonna have partnerships with, I guess, like Fortune 500 companies, just quote unquote. They're, you know, the world is changing, so like a lot of people do believe we're going digital in the future. And so cryptocurrency is almost like the same concept as the stock market, but except it's a different market. And then how do people make money from Bitcoin? As Bitcoin goes up, then they're making money.
So there's an exchange rate.
What did you say is an exchange rate?
Yeah, so you know, Bitcoin is equal to one USD.
Yeah. So like one USD is like equal to 30 grand right now, I think. One Bitcoin is 30 grand. One USD is equal to $30,000, which is one Bitcoin. What was I about to say? But this, like, you can't use it yet. Like, I think some
platforms do allow you to use
yeah, there you go. So we're slowly starting to add cryptocurrency to their forms of payments.
Yeah, I believe Amazon allows you to use
it. So actually, when you want to sell your crypto, like, you'll get back your USD, and then you can withdraw it from the broker.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. Would you use a longer expiration date to ensure a good profit? That's something I've been doing lately, and I think it influenced that.
Yeah, I don't like the weekly time frame, the 1 week time frame is really like
Risky.
yeah, it's so. But if you have like, okay, for instance, like I'll probably do like a long-term call in Tesla because I know Tesla will forever go up. So it just depends which stock it is and which time frame it is. Because like you have to have confidence, like, yeah, I know that's gonna go up, or no.
Yeah, typically the shorter the expiration, the cheaper the premium also.
Right.
And I have definitely started extending my my dates, but that does require more capital. So kind of like what Paige is saying, you kind of have to invest now, create the profit and enough profit to keep some of your profit and then rebuy something that you can afford that may have a longer expiration date.
Yeah, and also like when I'm trading, I'm also like using other resources like to know when to enter and exit the stock. Like I'll chart it sometimes and then like I'm just working on the candlestick. So it's just like I'm really quick with my moves. So if I'm like, okay, I see this is dropping, I'll get out and then move to something else. Or
Yeah,
I'll
so now you suggest something to me, you might be already out of it when I'm trying to get in. Yeah, but I suggest longer expiration dates because there's less risk. You may not make as much money either, but I'll tell you one thing with the Discord that we're in. I believe this very true, and I wish I had thought about this in the very beginning. But it says you never go broke when you take a profit. So even if you make only $1, it's better than losing $1.
Right, because there's some people who lost $5,000.
Right, or millions. You know, and you just have to not be emotional, and you have to think. You know, if I made $1, at least I didn't lose anything. Right. You know, when you start seeing everything turn red and it's like negative, 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 you're like, oh man. So never be emotional and make sure that you always just think with the mindset of if you make a profit, you never go broke.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is, I guess, kind of in correlation to the how does cryptocurrency work? So I guess would you say it's like Forex trading? 'Cause I know you did get into Forex trading, correct?
Not yet, but I will.
Okay.
Yeah, all these markets are like the same concept, but just a different market. Like Forex is currency. Stocks is like well, we trade in the American stock market and with some of Chinese companies, but stocks is like companies. Crypto is digital money. But if you know how to do them, like it took me a second to learn crypto because I already knew how, like, from trading stocks. Like it was just easy for me to adjust.
All right. Do you trade based on unusual option activity and earnings? Wow, that's a deeper question.
No, I'm very quality. I kind of just stick to one thing at a time. Earnings, it's like I have to look at different factors for earnings, which I'm not gonna speak about because I wrote it in my book and I don't like to give away everything.
Right, $45.
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I don't like unusual option activity.
yeah, like I'll get the notifications on my phone and then like I'll just sigh about it, but not really, to be honest.
To me, unusual option activity just kind of goes with that base word of unusual,
Yeah.
and it can go either way.
Right.
Earning, same thing. Like I said, a company can do great. Matter of fact, Apple today had earnings, and they literally crushed it. And like they did, I think better than they've probably done ever before. They broke records and all that, and they're down almost $5 in after hours. So
And I saw something that I told you why you
yeah,
should have sold
yeah,
it.
yes, yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
But there are things like GameStop that or I mean even AMD or
But
my
only because that was for Apple earnings. That's why I said that particularly for that.
yeah
Yes.
yeah
But then like
yeah.
there
Yeah, ETFs, or do you prefer ETFs or ETNs?
ETFs.
Okay. Yeah, me personally, I love ETFs. I've been talking about ETFs since last year.
Right.
I was talking about, I don't know if I should drop the name. Well, yeah, I'll drop them. QQQ.
Well,
Um,
and SPY is our.
and then you told me about one that I think is in your book or something that I've traded it before, but I can't remember what it's called. I think it starts with a V, maybe.
Woo.
Voo, yes, them. The one time I messed with them, they made me some money, but and it says VOO, but I think they move a little bit slower than SPY and QQQ, and
Yeah.
QQQ is also tech heavy, so tech definitely does influence the market quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we don't have any more questions from the audience. I gotta get back to some of mine. So I guess with your trading, do you set a goal? Have you met your goal? And I guess, do you have any future goals that you want to reach or meet in order to, or as a trader?
Definitely manage your risk. Like set how much you like. Okay, whatever you invest in is whatever money you invest with is what you're willing to lose. And when you're investing or trading, whatever, and like set like what you're willing to set. Hold on. I'm like twisting our tongue. Know when to sell the stock when you lose a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Definitely long-term goals. When I, be making more money, I can like put in more. I would love to like make 6 figures or more as a future long-term goal.
6 figures. I mean, you could do that in a day, making 17K a day and stuff like that. So, 75K in a week, things like that. All right, so we have a question. I think it's a little bit complicated, but it says a few months ago I looked at buying Beyond Meat around $50, but backed out. If you were to put that money in an option today, would that be a call or a put?
That'd be call because Beyond Meat is like 190. I was looking at them today, but you would do a call.
Yeah, if you'd have did a $50 call.
Yeah, they're 192 right now, so that means you think it's going up. So you would have had to buy a call.
Yeah, and you'd be rich.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah. Wow. You'd be rich right now. Pretty much. Dang, Nicholas, we could have been on a boat somewhere. Man, yeah. $50. If you had a $50 call back then and it's 192, that would have been a call going up, a put going down, then you'd have made a killing. I kind of explain another example. So, for instance, pandemic's going on, and I think I told Paige this the whole time. I would say, like, what was that company? Restaurant.
Red Robin.
Yes, Red Robin. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, Red Robin restaurant. They minimize their menu. They can't be making no money because you only got 50% capacity. They, people are also afraid to go to restaurants, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Beyond Meat booming. People are afraid of this. People are afraid of that. And I was like, all right, earnings is coming up, and this is one of the few. This is some of the times when I play earnings. If I know you lost some money, I think it's a lot easier. For instance, the airlines. If you're not able to travel and earnings is coming up, and if you're not doing a whole bunch of, I mean, it's just a lot of different things that go on here. Right. So I did a put on Red Robin. Red Robin does their earnings. They're like, man, we lost all this money. We don't know how we're gonna recover. Blah blah blah. We might go bankrupt. This is what they're talking about in their earnings, and I'm just sitting there like, yes.
Yeah.
And the market just goes boom down.
Right.
And you make money off that because you are actually selling the right to sell a stock with a contract at a certain price. And if the stock goes down, now that amount that you're selling it at has value. So as it goes down, my money is just going up. So that's the good way.
Yeah, you had a great analysis on that one. That was really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. But I'm not the expert here. So yes. All right. We have another good question. What is an ETF or an ETN?
So those are good. Those are the best ones to like always invest in for me for like long-term hold. I'm more into ETFs, not ETNs. Honestly, I really don't fool with ETFs right now just because like they're not really in my because like how I trade is like quality. So I'm like always like one stock or two stocks at a time. And like ETFs, they do move slow and they're not really gonna bring me in the kind of profit that I'm looking for right now. So those would be good for like long-term holds. And I talk more about it in my book.
For a long-term hold, but I honestly have made money off the ETFs, but it's typically because this is the other thing too. Depending on the ETF that you're using, it has different expirations or
Right.
time frames. So SPY, I had to learn the hard way in the very beginning because SPY only gives you like a 2-day time frame,
Right.
and that's where you're like, okay. And the thing is, I would always suggest anybody that's interested in investing in an ETF for an options call to do your research and find out what does that ETF hold, like who do they manage, because for instance, SPY is some tech, but it's a lot of business like type stuff, and then QQQ is really big with tech. So if you know that tech is falling, you're not gonna really make that huge of an impact on your money. So there's things like that. And then SPY, you really would want to go short term if you're trying to make a big game, because a long term hold on SPY, you're not going to make too much and it's going to be very expensive.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So the yeah man comes from Nicholas, who wishes that he would have bought that $50 call on Beyond. Because now it's extremely expensive to get into. All right. We got one from Joe Latte. Says, do you fancy butterflies or well marked up iron condor?
I don't really use those to be honest. I just stick to my normal just calls, put beginner level 1 level. What about quality ETS like bang? Okay, to be honest, like the conversation tonight is about options. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's like a whole other conversation about like the long-term holds and my perspective on it. So I mean, Fang is good.
Yeah, that's kind of like a QQQ to me.
Fang,
Because it's just,
Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google.
yeah, that's like a tech,
Right.
tech. Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, like I said, sometimes I'll dabble with it.
Yeah. So
Lately, they've been really expensive and they haven't moved that much, though.
yeah.
All right. So I guess, do you have any suggestions for anyone who's just getting started in options trading or
Definitely,
who wants to get started?
definitely watch YouTube videos,
Mm-hmm.
see other people's experience. Um, Read, do extra research, go with what you think.
Read what?
Books
Which
and
book?
one of my books. um, Read, use other resources, and go with what you believe.
Nice. All right. So let me see. We got another one. I guess, what is the biggest? Oh, what's the most you've made ever?
Um, Like off one trade or like within a
I guess what would be something that you could brag about, I guess, just in a meeting?
Probably about like 35K. About close.
Nice. How long did that take?
One account that I had took me 2 months to go from like 150 to 18 grand.
Nice. So you said you have multiple accounts. I guess, can you explain why?
Yeah, because some people like to have day trade in one. Some people like to have long-term positions in one. So you can have multiple broker accounts.
So I would like to so this person that's asking the question is Christina Quach. She is asking, would you be able to speak on what happened with AMC overnight? I'd also like to just say I've been talking about EXPI with Paige a lot lately. She is the one that actually showed me and introduced me to it, and I've been doing pretty well with them lately. But yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Is she talking about tonight?
I mean, honestly, I haven't looked into AMC, so I don't know what's going on with it. But I've
Well, I
seen
think
two questions
like
about AMC.
I think she means down in the after hours, like why it's $5 down. I think that's what she means. But if that's what you mean, then
I'm gonna look at it now, actually.
I think some of like the hedge funds might have like probably can like sell some positions.
Well, actually,
The news might have also affected it.
it jumped from $5 to like $19 yesterday. No,
Oh,
today. Today it jumped up almost $20. And it looks like all the news is
yeah.
pointing
So I think AMC was on like Wall Street bets. So AMC might have got pumped. That's
yeah.
and then I really haven't looked into too much of the news, but from what I heard, it was on bets and
It definitely looks like Reddit affected it too. People pumping it for no reason, because there's no real reason why AMC should be making any money unless they got a deal or something like that to go digital. It says that it was $4.96 last night, and I saw it jump to $18 today. I think it went up to almost 19. But the news that I was just seeing on it, it talks about it getting hyped up from Reddit.
oh, gotcha. But I wasn't in AMC, so I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, I had not paid too much attention to AMC. I actually put on AMC, back when I first started learning, because I was like, nobody's going to the movies, so that's the thing about the market is literally, like, for instance, Kodak came out saying that they were going to do a vaccine for
Right, yeah, and they went up to like
COVID, and then literally it shot up like $50, and then it crashed on the same day.
right.
So a lot of things sometimes is just influence and hype from the market or the news.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I guess yeah, what is a hedge farm? I think you mean fund.
So it's like where people who work like in broker firms and they manage firms and money. There's multiple of them.
And we also have EXPI. I cannot lie to you. It is going great, and I suggest you look into it, Paige, and anybody else watching. EXPI is amazing, and they're gonna do a stock split next month. So, like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I advise you to look at.
We're not financial advisors, and guys, I just keep learning. I don't know the whole market. Like when you guys ask me like, what's my opinion on this and that, like, don't take it as financial advice. Just do what you want to do. And
That's a good question.
and I don't know everything. So honestly, I thought AMC was in a V-shaped recovery, and I had no idea it jumped from $4 to $20 today, which is unusual. I thought it was just like going up, which is,
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
It had a huge spike, and there's a huge gap, and we all know gaps have to be filled. So
Right.
I think this question is kind of good, but I don't like I said gaps, which I think is going to lead to another question. But the gap has to be filled, and with it jumping almost $15-$20 today, would it be safe to say to put a put on it since AMC it was a punk? I would definitely say I wouldn't maybe do it this week, but something long term, I don't see AMC being substantial. So I would do it. I personally, not a financial advisor, would do a put on AMC.
Right. I would do it long term, not right now because
there's no telling tomorrow might be another 20.
Right, these stocks is going from like 0 to 100 like real quick. So you don't want your put to get put out,
Yes. So I guess back to your book then, before we get another question. What's been your biggest challenges and what's been your biggest reward?
My biggest challenge is my biggest rewards is probably like just when you can just have like one bad trade and then the bad trade can just make up for all like the good trades, I mean the good trade can make up for all the bad trades, if that makes sense. And then I'm just kind of like still learning, so
yeah, I think nobody ever just knows.
Right.
Things like Reddit and stuff like that now,
Yeah.
the professionals that have been involved with this for 20, 30 years have no idea, maybe they don't even know what Reddit is, and they're just like, man.
Yeah.
So it's always a constant learning thing. So with that being said, I've come across a lot of people who say, or they're like, oh, I get it, and they just put all this money in, and then they lose it because they get this cocky attitude about it, or they're like, oh, I get it. And I guess have you personally had any humbling moments?
Yeah, I mean, some people who bought my book, they was like, wow, like you really changed my life. And I was like, wow, the fact that what my intellectual property can do change your life, that's amazing. Like, I'm happy I taught somebody else,
Mm-hmm. Do you teach classes by any chance?
Yes, I have, and I'm still willing to do it.
Okay. I guess, can you expand on that for anybody who's interested in learning?
Yes, so I'm able to like do a live Zoom meeting and like go over stuff with you and teach you for like beginners.
Okay. So there's a lot of people in the group that always ask me about training and things like that, et cetera. And I always tag you in your book. So if you want to continue to post it, please, because it's hard for me to find it now. But how can they get in contact with you? And do you have any suggestions that for if they purchase your book tonight or tomorrow, whenever? Do you have any suggestions that go along with that?
So you can get in contact with me by my email, which is paigerankin@aol.com. And then what was the other question that you asked?
Do you have any suggestions that go along with your book's purchase? So once I purchase the book, do you have any suggestions that go along with that?
Yeah, do the work.
Do you suggest paper trading or starting with paper trading?
Yeah. Paper trading is an option for most of you who don't know. Like, you're not using your real money. You just keep practicing, and then when you're confident, then you can, use real money. And then start off small. Start off with like a small just amount of money just to see. Ford was my first one.
I'm not a financial advisor, but I work with Ford. You can afford Ford.
Yeah, everybody can afford it before it goes up because it's moving.
Trade that Whataburger meal for a Ford option, possibly a call. They're getting into the EV or electric vehicle sector. So just saying.
Yeah.
Now we got it. Says sweet. How do we attend the Zoom meeting? That's a good question.
So you can like email me and we can like set something up.
What is your email address?
Paige Rankine at AOL.com. I'll post it in the chat on the group.
So you see that you are a highly requested individual. So
Something like that.
continue to post. All right. So I guess, can you explain really quick making up losses?
So to make up losses is like when you lose money on a trade. So let's just say I bought something. Let's just say I bought an Apple contract for like $100, or an Apple call for $100, and let's just say Apple went down, so I'm losing money, and like I got $40 back from that trade. And when I sold it, I got back 40. So I would take that 40 and I would put it in something like Ford. I'll do a Ford call, then Ford will go up, and then I'll get back like 150 out of it. Like, I'm just giving real like imaginary numbers. And yeah, it's making up a loss.
Okay. It says, if we make a large earning, are there any laws that prohibit a person from withdrawing all their money?
Some broker accounts, like, they don't want you to take out more than 25 grand at a time. I don't know everything, guys. Like, I'm just seeing from what I saw. But no, you should be able to withdraw, like, I guess per day, there's like a limit. Because even with crypto, I think like you can only take out 25. Well, with the broker I use, you can only take out 25 grand. And another thing is like
to make a large earning to where they have to limit how many millions you can take out.
No.
No. You know what I'm saying? To make that much to where they have to put a limit on it.
No, that's not possible because a lot of people have millions in their brokers.
No, I'm saying to be able to take it all at it, to have the.
Oh yeah. I think there's like a limit on that.
Yeah, that must be a nice feeling.
With like your regular bank account, I don't think you can withdraw unless you go talk to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have millions, so.
And then another thing.
My goal is to be a day trader though, and I think on Robinhood it takes 25,000
every broker.
Yeah. With every broker.
Yeah. Okay.
So to have 25,000 in my Robinhood account would be nice to be a day trader, because they only allow you to do 3-day trades per
five trading days.
So basically that means that you are allowed to do day trading, but only 3 times within a given 5 trading days.
Right. Yeah.
And that includes holidays, so don't ever get mixed up with thinking you're gonna sell on a Monday and it's like Martin Luther King Day and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's closed on holidays. And then another thing is like my trading style is like, you know, it's always quality over quantity, because somebody be like, oh, you saw Apple, oh, you saw Facebook, oh, you saw Netflix, and I'm like, I can't keep up with everybody. Like when you guys are asking me with AMC and GameStop, like I've saw them going up, but I wasn't really like looking into them because it's just like,
yeah,
like I just have to focus on one position at a time, you know. So I don't know.
I'm the hard way with that too, because I was like, oh, I hear about this, I heard about that, I heard about this.
And it's just gonna mess with my mind, and I'm just like, no, like just get your money in this trade and then go to another trade.
And timing is huge, and it is very hard to watch something. And I'm talking about like, I think 20 minutes, man. Honestly, even less than 20 minutes. I've honestly made and lost 2K in 30-minute time span. Facebook. We talk about how bipolar that is, but timing is everything. And the thing is, if you're not able to watch multiple things at the same time and they're all doing something like that, you can end up losing. So
right, yeah. So
quality is definitely better than quantity.
Yeah.
Do you suggest people buying multiple contracts at the same time, I guess?
It depends how many like positions you're in. I don't do that because sometimes it's like one position I'll be like losing money, and then another one is like I'm gaining money, and I'm like, why did I buy the one I was losing money on? Like I should have just stuck to the one I was gaining money.
I agree. All right, so it says good luck with all your endeavors and appreciate your time tonight. And I guess with that, we can kind of start wrapping it up unless anybody has any other questions that they want to ask. We definitely want to say that we appreciate your time tonight, Paige.
Yes, definitely.
Anybody have any last questions that they want to get out before they go and buy the book? So if you look down below here, it says go purchase Paige's stock market investing guide, especially for the beginners to learn.
Right.
It will make you rich. Say that much.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have any last words, Paige, or anybody have any last questions that they want to ask before she leaves tonight?
I just want to say thank you for having me. Thanks for everybody who listened. I hope you go buy my book, and I hope I can make a difference in your life. And I will post my email and my website on the what I mean.
Yeah. And I guess how they can get in contact with you for
right, yeah.
Just thanks, man. I just stumbled on Facebook and saw you live. See you on Zoom page. See?
You're welcome.
Yes, and thank you, Christina, for telling me about EXPI because it has definitely helped out. All right, and we have another thank you page. So go buy the book. Whenever you buy the book, please make sure that you leave a review so that where people are able to see how it's helped you out and be looking out for her posts. It also says thank you. I will be buying your book. Options are interesting. Options is definitely the way to go. Like a lot. What I will say, Nate, before we do go, most people, not myself, but most people buy options just so they can invest more into the long-term stock. So you can make quick gains and then invest into the long-term stock if you want to, but I just like to be able to do something. Sometimes I'm like, man, I just want to buy some lunch without having to take money on my own account. So I just invest real quick. All right, made $10. All right, cool. Now let's go buy some lunch.
Yeah.
Paige, would you say you're the same?
Yeah, something like that. Well, mine, I'll just wait till like the big money come in. I'm like, okay, let's go ball out.
Yeah, I did long term. Well, I'm still doing long term, but I started doing long term in I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then I saw how much money you can make on options, and I was humbled in the very beginning, but after you learn and get humbled, it's definitely the way to go. I'm talking about definitely the way to go, and then you can always take that money that you earn faster and put it into the long term.
Yep.
But congratulations, Paige. It looks like people are definitely interested in your book.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much if there are no more questions, thank you very much for being here tonight. And please continue to post and let people, see what you have to offer. And thank you for, tuning in tonight.
All right. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Hope you definitely learned something tonight.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.